Hello, my name is Aidan Roos, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation on nonverbal communication in professional settings. This presentation is done based off a research report from my communications class. I'm going to be talking about the importance of nonverbal communication, the lack of structure we can find in our nonverbal communication, types and forms, different cultural differences within nonverbal communication, how we can independently improve our nonverbal communication, as well as some recommendations for human resources professionals on how they can improve nonverbal communication in their workplaces. So the importance of nonverbal communication, again, like we said, there's two primary forms of communication, verbal and nonverbal. Nonverbal includes gestures, tone of voice, facial expressions, body language, and various cues. Nonverbal communication can either support or contrast what we're trying to say verbally. Nonverbal cues are often done unconsciously. This brings us to our lack of structure in nonverbal communication. So as said earlier, this is random, it can be unconscious, and that can contrast what we're trying to say verbally. So it's important that we give nonverbal cues that are supporting what we're saying verbally. This might show our true meaning behind what we're trying to say verbally as well. You can show that we're confident, if we're lying, worried, uncaring, or nervous. A big sign of this is lying. If someone's covering their mouth, not making eye contact, or talking quickly, these can be signs that they're trying to get out of a conversation and they're counteracting what they're trying to say to you. They're not confident in their words. If someone's nervous, they might have their arms crossed. They could not be making eye contact. Confidence, someone making eye contact, having an open body, hand gestures, open palms, things like that. Being in control of our body language and vocal inflection can help support verbal communication and provide more structure to things we're trying to say. There's different types of nonverbal communication. So there's haptics, which is interactions that involve making physical contact with someone else. This can be a handshake, hugging, or different types of physical interaction. A big example of this, a lot of people when they go into an interview, they like a firm handshake. It's a sign of confidence that someone's there, they're confident, they're ready for their interview. Kinesics is communication that is done through facial expressions, body movements, and eye contact. Again, so if someone's frowning, these ones are pretty easy. If you're frowning, you're smiling, open palms, open body, making eye contact, all signs of confidence, unconfidence, lying, things like that. Chronemics is the use of time during communication. How is time managed during that interaction and how can this affect the interaction? An example of this would be, let's say if you're at a bar, you ask a bartender for a drink, they're just kind of short with you. They go get you your drink, put it in front of you, don't say anything. It's a very quick interaction. Not a lot was done. It may feel underwhelming. You may be upset at it. You may have wanted a little bit more attention. You're having a rough day at work, things like that. So just giving that little bit of time makes the interaction a bit nicer for the person going through it with you. Prosemics refers to physical space, distance, orientation, positioning during an interaction. Again, let's take a bartender example. Say you're at a bar, like, hey, bartender, can I get a drink? And they just stand at the other side of the bar, not facing towards you, and they just turn their head. And it feels like a less genuine interaction. If someone calls you over, asks for a drink, walk over to them, stand in front of them, make eye contact, lean in, show that you're actively listening, give them a little bit of communication. It goes a long way. Can make them stay there, get more drinks, better for business, better reviews. They might come back to your establishment later, things like that. Lastly, vocal cues. This includes tone of voice, pitch, loudness, speaking speeds. Again, if someone's lying, they might be speaking quickly. If you're a bartender, someone's drunk, they might be yelling. That might be a sign it's time to cut them off. Their pitch, if they're high pitch, could be happy. Low pitch could be sad. These are all things you can pick up on, non-verbally in their communication. Some forms of nonverbal communication: blinking too often might mean you're worried, frowning, confused, or angry. Eyes wide open and alert, you could be passionate. Maintaining eye contact, you're interested in what someone else is saying, you're confident in what you're saying. Open palms means you could be honest, comfortable in a situation. Finger tapping, you could be bored or impatient with a conversation. Crossed arms, unconfident, standoffish, negative, and bending forward again, interested, happy, you want to be there. Some cultural differences we can find in nonverbal communication. The biggest one is eye contact. In North America, that's a sign of respect. It's a sign that you're confident. Many other cultures, like such as Hispanic, Asian, Middle Eastern, and Native American, this can be seen as disrespectful. Calling someone over with a finger can be seen as disrespectful in other cultures and is typically a gesture used for animals. And lastly, Middle Eastern cultures, the left hand is reserved for hygiene. So it can be seen as disrespectful for handling food, or interacting with others. So these are some things we need to understand if we're working internationally or hiring people from different cultures that we need to be aware of and potentially do training on, which I'll touch on soon. Some improvement strategies and how we can improve our nonverbal communication is an important skill for anyone to learn, and it's going to take time to learn. It's not going to happen overnight. So some individuals that can understand and control their body language can make someone look more confident, authoritative, professional, and respectful in certain environments. Maintaining good posture, facial expressions align with what we're saying, eye contact, positive vocal cues can improve our nonverbal communication as well. And lastly, taking care of nonverbal cues can improve communication in the workplace and misunderstanding between employees and customers. Lastly, some recommendations for human resources professionals. Try and organize some training sessions so you can raise awareness about nonverbal communication. Do some cultural sensitivity training if you're hiring a cultural diverse workplace or if you're working internationally, as well as some active listening courses. Again, like I said, part of communication is just our body language that we're giving off to someone. So if someone's speaking to us when we're making eye contact, we're leaning forward, how can we active listen effectively to make sure that someone knows that we're there and caring about the conversation? This is especially important for customer facing employees. Be a positive role model and practice it yourself. When you're speaking with employees in your workplace, practice positive body language. Provide customized training for key employees like managers, supervisors, and customer facing staff. Again, all these staff might need different training. So, managers, if they're dealing with people internationally, might need some more cultural training. Supervisors might need some more professional practice on how to speak professionally with their body language and vocal cues, things like that. How they can communicate professionally to workers that are working below them. And lastly, customer facing staff, how can we communicate professionally with higher ups, our senior staff? How can we give good experiences to our customers coming into our business and give them good customer experience? Lastly, establish a feedback system or a peer assessment that can help employees refine their nonverbal skills. So this can either be a question box, have employees ask what they can do to improve their nonverbal skills, or just shadow an employee for 30 or 45 minutes, give them some tips, check back in a week, see what they've improved on, and give them something else to learn. They have to learn bit by bit. They're not going to learn it overnight, but it's something we can continually work on and get better at. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned something about nonverbal communication, and I hope you have a good day.